Ideal Protein Nation. Hey, I am super psyched today. I know, again, I say it every single time. I need to save it for when it's really special, but this show is going to be epicer than epic than epic. May even be the best show that we've ever produced. We'll see. May even be the longest show that we've produced. We don't know. However, it's going to be well worth it. Real quick before I get going, for those of you who are just tuning in or are new to the Life Possible podcast, the Life Possible podcast spotlights successful clients, coaches, and clinic owners who have used the Ideal Protein protocol to reset their body, reset their mind, and actually reset what's possible for their life. These individuals truly had life-changing experiences, and now, as a result, they're pursuing goals and dreams they thought were dead and gone. They're pursuing goals and dreams they never thought they could. And in some cases, they're pursuing goals and dreams they never even knew they wanted to. In short, they're busy living a life that they love so much that they don't feel the need to escape from it. They're living what we like to refer to in Ideal Protein as life possible. It's my hope that you will see and hear these people's stories. You will be able to connect with something that somebody says and understand that if they can do it, you can too. So who am I and why am I even doing this? My name is Dr. John Barnes, and I'm the clinic director at Reset Wellness in Centerville, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C. We've been an independent authorized Ideal Protein clinic for almost 7 years now. And over those 7 years, we're proud to report we've actually helped our clients lose over 26,000 pounds. Why did I even get involved in this and why am I doing this? The situation is, there's no better way to put it, but 7 years ago, I found myself fat, sick, and depressed. And I didn't see a way out. And I gave up actually even trying. However, I truly believe that God brought me the Ideal Protein program through one of my patients as the answer to all of my prayers, both personally and professionally. Initially, I lost 45 pounds, but more than that, it totally changed my life from the inside out. So many symptoms and health issues I had developed really cleaned themselves up and went away. Now I find myself over 65 pounds down from this original picture, and I feel like I'm living a life where I'm healthy, vibrant, and alive. Last September, I completed my first half Ironman triathlon after over 25 years of inactivity. So I've spent the past 7 years going down rabbit holes and truly researching the power of the Ideal Protein protocol beyond mere weight loss and why the physiology of this program has the ability to restore metabolic health and really give people a chance at life again. So who do I have for you today? Well, I tell you, you may or may not already know or at least recognize this lady. Ideal Protein discovered her when they did their rebranding process a little bit around 3 years ago. And she was featured on a lot of their ads and their promos. My first guest today is Marnie Elliott. I'm telling you, and again, as you can see from that picture that I cut out of the Ideal Protein ad, she shared with me as we were talking that this pose actually landed her the nickname, the Flying Canadian. And when she shared that with me, I almost fell off my chair. And I got to tell you, I will never let her live that down. She's going to explain the full story to us today on the show. But, it was kind of interesting. As her coach and clinic owner, Jenn Barkley, described her, Marnie has always had a zest for life. But Jenn really feels like since the Ideal Protein protocol, it literally threw gasoline on her fire. And she is now constantly spreading what they refer to as the Marnie effect in many different ways up in Canada where their clinic is. Her personality is infectious and inspirational and motivational. So I'm so excited to bring her to you. In fact, now she convinced Jenn, she now coaches with her clinic owner in Jenn's clinic. They are absolutely a force to be reckoned with. And I like to call them the dynamic duo of Canada. So, of course, I have to bring Jenn Barkley on as well, her coach and clinic owner. She is at Ideal Health and Weight Loss in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. I believe that's just east of Toronto. my Canadian accent coming back from upstate New York. I've been a Facebook fan of Jenn's for quite a while. She's such a positive influence on Facebook and social media. Her posts and also the comments that she says, and a lot of the Ideal Protein clinic owner groups that we belong to have always just been so positive. I really loved her spirit. Jenn and her husband actually also share a background in exercise science from college, just like myself. And so we really connected right out of the gate when we started working on the program. In 2010, she was introduced to Ideal Protein in one of the first jobs that she took, coming off of being a stay-at-home mom and getting her kids to the point where she felt comfortable getting back out in the workforce. So she was introduced to Ideal Protein, and the more she read about it and researched it, the more she said, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing, and it lit her fire as well. She ended up coaching for 3 years before she opened her own clinic back in 2013. So I tell you what, without further ado, let me bring these ladies in and stop my yapping. Where are you? Marnie, where are you? Hey!
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Jenn. Hey, Marnie, how are you, ladies?
We're great.
There we go. Let's just get that. All right. Hey, how's the weather up there, eh?
Cold, raining.
44 degrees.
No snow?
It's finally melted.
Okay, excellent.
I think it's
we have it
this weekend.
Yeah, we have it in the forecast for tomorrow, right, Jenn?
We do.
Oh my goodness. Oh
It's
my
all right.
goodness.
Summer's coming.
It is. It is actually. We have that to look forward to. Hey, so let's get this started because we've got a lot to get to. One of the things that I really enjoy about your story together is the fact that you are both friends first, live near each other in the same social circles, etc. I'd love for you two ladies to kind of discuss just being friends first before you even started an Ideal Protein journey together. How did you meet?
You want to go, Jenn, or do you want me to go?
You can jump in to start, Marnie.
So it's actually it is 19 years this month that I moved into my house. And right. Jenn and Glenn moved, well, my husband and I, no kids yet, Jenn and Glenn and their two boys.
Is her husband's name really Glenn?
Jenn and Glenn.
So they're Jenn and Glenn.
Oh. Yeah, isn't that cute?
Right?
Too cute. Okay, I'm sorry, Marnie.
You should see them together because they're just as cute.
I can imagine.
Anyway, so Jenn and Glenn moved in down the street, and we were in a brand new development. Like, we had no streets. It was mud. It was a disaster out here. And the only thing you could do was go for a walk in the mud and meet new people. So yeah, we met new people. And so it just, there was probably maybe 10 people that lived in the neighborhood at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, we were some of the first.
It's insane. It is insane. So we were part of the phase 2 group. So we just hit it off and we just became friends. And as much as our kids are different ages and life changes and, you spend time in circles together, but you don't spend a lot of one-on-one time together. So, okay. But although it's saying that, Jenn, when I had my first child, Jenn showed up with a big bowl of chili for me. That's who she is. She's just very giving and a wonderful, wonderful person and will do anything for anyone. So the fact that she ended up in this industry helping people become better versions of themselves is no surprise to any of us here. So
seems like a natural fit.
Yeah, very sweet. Thank you.
It's true, right? So
we feel the same about you.
And so that was, but Jenn started this, this program, this Ideal Protein, and you see that she's helping people lose weight, but you wonder what's really going on. And I followed her, and you just don't talk about weight loss in front of people. You don't talk about your struggles with weight loss, right?
Right.
We've discussed this many times. It's a tough thing to talk about because you feel like you're a failure because you can't handle your own weight gain and your weight loss. And here Jenn was doing this, but it was a hard thing to approach her about.
Gotcha.
And so
let's not give away too much. Let's not give away too much of the material right out of the gate. Jenn, do you have anything to add to that as far as moving in and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got crazy neighbors?
No.
Elliott's.
No, not at all. I mean, that was just it. It was a small community, and you got to meet a few people early on, and we would connect at different social events. And Marnie is just so open and gracious, and always having people in her home. And you've always been like that, I think, Marnie. And so we'd have little, different at-home events, and we would connect there. And yeah, that's how it started. So 19 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So I wanted to get to real quick too. I wanted Marnie right out of the gate before we even got into your ideal protein journey, et cetera. Gosh, I've had so much fun meeting with you ladies over the past 2 weeks, and I feel like we're a lot alike in many ways. We're kindred spirits in many ways. Marnie, I think a little bit more with her zaniness and kind of some of the fun things she does, especially how she torments her family. Marnie, I wanted to the Flying Canadian, number one. Can you tell us how you got dubbed the Flying Canadian and how it might actually be inaccurate?
I actually didn't know that I was dubbed this. My girlfriend, who has done Ideal Protein, was in an elevator at work downtown Toronto, and someone was eating one of our vanilla crispy squares, right? And everyone knows what the vanilla crispy square is. You see that and you know. And she looked at her and she goes, "Oh, I know what that is." She goes, "My friend actually works for that company. My friend works for an Ideal Protein clinic." And so the girl said, "Oh, okay." And she said, "Yes." She said, "She's actually part of the new ad campaign." And this woman in the elevator says, "Oh, is she the Flying Canadian?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." So now I'm known as the Flying Canadian, which is really funny because I have lived in Canada for almost 24 years. And I still don't have my Canadian citizenship. So I'm still an American, although I'm known as the Flying Canadian. So
oh my gosh.
Yes, but tormenting my family, the deck of cards. I was so excited about this being chosen to be part of this ad campaign, and went to Montreal and had the most amazing time meeting Dr. Paul, Paula, Lynn Roos, and Skip, and I mean it was really just a special moment. I wish everyone could do something like that and just you feel like such a part of something. And we saw what was happening with this ad campaign before anyone else did. We knew what the colors were. We understood the direction it was going. So it was really fun. But so I came home and I told my kids, "I'm famous. I'm famous. I'm in a commercial." And they laughed because at the time they were 16 and 12. And so they had a good little laugh about it. And so then the commercial comes out and I'm like, "Look at this. I told you I'm famous." Yeah. And so I posted and I shared with everyone. Hey, Jen, Jen and I both shared. We were so excited about it. But then I thought it was right around Christmas time when everything came out, the posters came out. So I took a picture of it and I made playing cards and I made magnets and I gave them to everyone for Christmas.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Kids were mortified.
They were. And one of these days I will get my hands on the life-size banner and I will hang it in their bedrooms and I will, it will be one of those things. But until then, we have our playing cards and I still found another deck. So they're still floating around there. So you just never know when you might end up with a gift. Right?
Perfect. We're both John and I are expecting one of those.
Yes,
actually,
you don't have one yet, Jen. Yeah,
I know, right? I mean, what's up with that?
What is up with that?
I will.
What I thought was even funnier, because she's shameless, right? She even thought that for some reason I would consider, changing the banner that I have back here. She even thought that for some reason I would actually be crazy enough to order one of those if they were even still available, and put the Flying Canadian looking over my shoulder, right?
One can only ask, Marnie.
Just the poster. You don't have to do the full banner. Just the poster.
Well, that's a shame because I got to do something here real quick.
Oh, no.
You should have told me earlier.
Oh, no. Oh, I
love you. Do have me. I've never seen the life-size me. I love it.
Hang on. We've got to switch places. I got to figure out.
Oh, that is awesome.
Add me back. Oh, no. So, I guess I'll always be in that. Oh, yeah. No, you can see you, right?
Uh-huh.
Now it looks like I'm giving you a hug.
It does. She's
Oh,
got her
no.
arm around your shoulder, John.
There you go. I got it. That's it, right? She's
Yes.
just looking. She's
Perfect.
staring right over my shoulder. I'm like, oh my god, there she is.
She's everywhere. You can't not find Marnie places. She's everywhere.
So, ideal
People
protein
will
clinic
message me.
owners.
Yeah, people will message me and they will say, "Oh, I saw you today." And it's people in Connecticut, like where I grew up. There's people like in Canada say, "Oh, I saw you again today." Like I love it. And then when they walk in clinics, and sometimes or even chiropractic clinics, and they don't know that there's an ideal protein, and it just puts that little bug in them that that's right.
Yep.
That's what Marnie did. That's what's going on here. So
Yeah. No, I was laughing because as soon as after we talked for the very first time, I was like, I'm going to go check in the system and see if it's still there. And sure enough, it is there. So clinic owners, ideal protein clinic owners around the world, Marnie's banner is still available. So
we're ordering it tonight.
catch them while you
and
can.
Marnie, if I can you see in the background?
Oh, there she is.
There you go.
She is famous.
My poor children.
Yes, most definitely. And you know what? I would like stick that in their shower or their closet or something.
Oh,
and
that's a good one.
I just think to wake up in the morning on your birthday, having me like there would be just. Why not?
All right, we digress. We've got
Yes.
really great stuff. So Jenn, I wanted to start. If we're going to start these stories, I wanted to start this off by establishing you as the clinic owner and coach, etc. Tell me about how you came across Ideal Protein and got to the point where you are today.
Well, I, as you had mentioned, had taken a little break after going to university and got my degree in physical education. So background in that, I toyed with the idea of going back to school to become a registered dietitian because nutrition became my passion. Except I got married, had 3 children, and decided to stay home for a time to raise them. Well, when I went back out into the work field, I was helping a local spa doing some just work at the front desk, and they had gone to a trade show where Ideal Protein had been, and they knew my background, they knew my passion for nutrition, and the owner there had asked, would I look at this, look at the material? And I didn't want to touch it. I said, I don't want to come anywhere near anything that seemed like a canned diet, because diets are just, they have such negative connotations for people, and really mess people up physiologically and psychologically. And so I was very reticent. But I looked at the science, I took it home, I poured over an entire weekend, and light bulbs just started going off everywhere. And I thought, this is completely different. We are talking the pancreas. We're talking about insulin dysregulation. This just makes sense. And it was wonderful. And I am so thrilled that I had that opportunity to learn about all the science behind this and launched there. And for 3 years,
I'm going to call time out too. Again, that's why I'm such an absolute geek about this. And you and I, we were supposed to meet for an hour last Friday, and I believe we made it for 2 hours. Just totally geeking out about all this. When I was in college studying it as well, it was a passion. But I never was really able to get it to work the way that it was supposed to work, the way the textbook said, right?
It's so true.
When I read the materials as well that I had gotten from Ideal Protein, and their tagline was, "It just makes sense." Literally, it all made sense. I wanted to understand it more and just do more research on it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so the science of this is so solid. And, I, again, having 3 kids, when this was brought to my attention, I thought, well, before I actually even start, I need to do this. I need to follow the protocol. I need to coach myself through the first bit. And I dropped 14 pounds, which doesn't sound maybe like a lot, but on my body, it just allowed me to get back to feeling like me again after being a mom to 3 young boys, right? And doing that was just, and it was fast, 3.5 weeks, and I was down 14 pounds. And I just felt
Wow.
fantastic. Now, at the time, we did not have our phase two the way that we now know it, and how
Correct.
different it is with our macro code. And I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, that's what launched it. And it gave me my career, because 3 years later, I opened up my own clinic.
Wow.
And so it'll be 9 years this September, this
9
August.
years. Wow.
Yeah, 9 years of helping people, and just to reclaim their vibrancy. That's always been my passion, right? Whether I was, in the fitness realm, because that's where I started my career, post-secondary education, and then owned my own business at home while I was raising my boys. I wanted to feed people healthy, Sonoma-based Mediterranean meals.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a time out of my own kitchen to individual clients.
Wow.
And then, but I didn't truly find my passion and career until I found Ideal Protein. And I will never not do this. I will be doing this. I like to say till I retire, but I don't know if I ever will.
Right?
Why would you want to retire from this?
Right.
Right?
Seriously, I get it.
Yes.
I absolutely
Yes.
get it. Oh, that's so amazing. So we've established then, you two are friends from the hood. Marnie, you know that Jenn does this Ideal Protein. You've seen now some of the things, some of the people that she's been able to change. I'd love for you to share with people your decision-making process that, you know what, I'm going to give this thing a shot. I'm going to do it with Jenn. Now is the right time, and I am so comfortable doing it with a good friend.
Perfect. So Jenn would post pictures every once in a while on her Facebook page, and Facebook was fairly new. Like, we weren't really on Facebook a lot, but she had these pictures, and I think there was even one with Dr. Tran on there, and it was, a couple people who'd lost weight and said how much they had lost. And I thought, oh, okay, yeah. I tried a lot of different programs, and I'd done Weight Watchers numerous times. But then I had a friend who did Ideal Protein, and you watch people, right? Because this is a program I've never heard about. And then you look at online and you look at what the cost is, and I can go weigh in at Weight Watchers for $10 a week and figure this out myself. Well, guess what? After about, almost 20 years of trying to figure it out, nothing was working.
Yeah.
So I had this friend and I tried shakes. I had been exercising a lot. I was 5 to 7 days a week at the gym, and I felt strong. I felt fantastic.
Yes.
I really did. And I loved working out. And I was actually, once again, I left my full-time, corporate job to raise my kids. And I had a home-based daycare here. I don't even think we talked about that.
No.
But I had a daycare here. So I was in my house 24/7, working with kids and, my own children, raising my family. And then at night I would go to the gym, and I loved it. It was my escape. And I made great friendships with the most amazing trainer. However, what I had been taught, through different programs was fruits and vegetables are excellent for you. And they are. But when your go-to is 5 apples a day, carrots, brown rice, all these delicious things that are healthy, all these berries, watermelon, exactly.
Yeah.
Healthy. And then, everything in moderation, right? Let's figure that out. But 5 apples a day as your snacks, that's 100 grams of carbs.
Right.
Bingo.
Right.
Then you're having brown rice with dinner, whole wheat pasta, right? All these little things, even carrots. Carrots are a great snack to have.
Exactly.
So then I watched this great friend of mine, and I saw that she had lost the weight with Jenn. And I watched her for a year because, it's like, okay, this is an investment I'm going to make in myself. If this is the way I decide I'm going to go, I'm going to watch her for a year. And she kept it off.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, she kept it off. And we went out for dinner one night, and she started talking about, this, and this was 7 years ago, I think, maybe even 8. But she was talking about how carbs and fats work and all these different, and proteins and, all these little things. And, this is how she's eating now. And I'm thinking, wow, like she's doing this. She's a busy mom. How, like, I'm going to look into that. Eventually I'll look into this. And it sat on the back burner. But then all of a sudden a picture was taken of me on Easter Sunday. And that's the picture you have at the beginning. And I'm holding my dog because at that point in time, when there it is. That's my family. And I'm holding my dog because when you hold things in front of you, you don't necessarily see how big you are. But I actually, you know what? I woke up that morning, I put on that dress. I'm like, I look good. And then the picture was taken and I looked at it and I'm like, oh my gosh. Is that like, that's me. My head's so little. And I said to my husband, I'm like, oh, and he goes, no, Marnie, it's a nice picture. I said, no, he goes, it's just the angle. And I laughed and I said, okay, so all of you look normal, but my angle looks weird. No, something's going on. And the following week we were going to Universal Studio, which are the next two pictures. And and I thought to myself, when I saw that picture of with my little head and my dog, hiding behind my dog. And that's how I took pictures. I hid behind people. I hid behind dogs.
We've all done that. Yep.
Or you crop them so you're here up, and that's what you do when you're uncomfortable in your own skin. And so off we go to Universal, and I thought, you know what? This is it. When I come back, I'm doing something different. I'm calling Jenn. Jenn didn't even know I was calling her, but I had it in my head. I'm calling Jenn Barkley, and I'm going to get this under control. So off we went to Universal, and I said, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. I'm going to have drinks that I want to drink, and I'm going to have a fantastic time. And I'm going to do this all without guilt. And it's not that I was going to binge or do anything silly like that. I was just going to enjoy it, because when you struggle with your weight, every time you have something that you shouldn't be having, these desserts or these, big pastas with cream sauce, anything you have, you're always in the back of your mind saying, I shouldn't be having this.
Yeah.
And that's sad. You should be able to enjoy what you're having.
Right.
So I thought, I'm going to go away and
That's huge, Marnie. And that's something that we've all said, we've all felt that hasn't been said on the show yet. That's absolutely an amazing insight. Keep going.
But it's hard. So I thought, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy it all. And I know that I'm moving forward, and that's it. But we laugh about the whole being in the wonderful world of Harry Potter and magic, and look at my cloak. Well, my cloak is fantastic because you know what? Number one, it's just, obviously it's Harry Potter, so it's fantastic, but you can hide under a cloak too.
Yeah.
You can hide under a cloak too. And that's where I was at. I was hiding behind things. I wasn't going to. And Jenn, people say, oh, Marnie, you never hid from anything. There are events that I didn't go to in my life. Because
and that's just it, Marnie, because you know that, right? And you took note of those things that you did hide from, even though other people might not have known that was happening. In your head, you know exactly when, where, and why you did that, right?
Swimming lessons with my kids.
I do.
Yeah, swimming lessons with my kids. I didn't get in the pool with them. My husband did.
Mm-hmm.
Little things, right? Just little things. You didn't go to an event because you don't feel comfortable in your clothes, or you're shopping and trying to find something that covers things or looks better, so I was done. Still have my cloak, and if I go back to Universal, I will bring it with me. I use it for Halloween just about every year.
Well, you also bought the hat. We didn't even talk.
Oh, well, come on.
We're going to save the hat for another time.
Oh, the hat. Yeah. The hat and a magic wand. So it was a wonderful trip, but I actually came back from that trip, and we had walked so much. I actually lost 5 pounds. But that was another aha moment for me, because I thought, here I was working out, 5 days a week, and our workout classes, this gym, this trainer she's amazing. Anyhow, I was working out hard as could be, thought I was eating healthy. I go away, I'm not eating healthy. I'm enjoying all the things. We're walking a lot, but I came back 5 pounds less. So then I thought, okay, seriously, I need to call Jenn, because how can that happen?
Right.
How can I
You
be
just can't
eating as
understand. Now
healthy?
you have no,
How, yeah, it just, none of it made sense. And it's like, well,
right.
I need
Right.
to do something. So yeah, that week I messaged Jenn and I said, I need to meet with you and see what it is you do. And I need to talk to you. So she's come on over. So I went to the office,
Yeah.
we met, and she said, when do you want to start? And I said, tomorrow. Like, there was no looking back. And that was it. And she's like, well, you might want to wait till next week, get your things in order, go and get your grocery shopping done. Like,
Right.
Jenn
Right.
is so incredible. And she wants to organize you before it starts. I'm like, oh no,
Yep.
this is happening now. Like, this is
Yep.
coming on. I am getting my life back. And that's when it all started.
That's amazing. That, and again,
Right?
and when I say when I open the show that I hope people will hear and connect with people's stories, how many people can connect with so many things that you just said. 100%.
Every one of your shows that I listen to, I connect with someone. I listened to Rebecca today and Wilson, and everything she said. But I'm like, I feel like all of your guests are now my best friends, and they've never met me.
Isn't
And
that
again,
true?
and I'm sure
Yeah.
since you're so famous in Ideal Protein Nation that they feel like they've met you, though. I mean,
Yes.
Well,
they just have to.
and you gain all these friends through all these Ideal Protein groups, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, honestly, well, there's so many out there, but Melissa and Dee, and I just like,
Yeah.
I could chat with them all day, right? It's
Again,
just
it's Ideal Protein Nation. Like it is
a nation.
You become part of a tribe. You can become part
The
of a group.
support is amazing, and just
Mm-hmm. All right, so Jenn, we're going to shift over to you, and you're thinking, "Oh no, Marnie's coming in. She wants to be my client." No, I'm kidding. Tell us about that.
Oh, it was wonderful. First off, I always, when someone makes that very courageous call,
Yep.
I like to talk about it and just tell people, you know what, without sounding or having an ounce of condescension, because it can sound that way.
Yep.
That's not where it's coming from. When I say I'm so proud of you for being brave and reaching out, right, and just making that call. That's the hardest part, is just to make that first call. And so I was so excited for the opportunity to help Marnie out, just get to that next level, right? You talk about next level all the time, but I knew for Marnie that this was just going to be something she was going to dial in. I mean, I knew right away when she said, no, I'm not starting in a couple days. I've got groceries. I'm going to start. It's just starting today or tomorrow. I'm like, okay. She was all in. Yeah. And there's something about when you have a client and they're coming to this hungry. Yeah. And I mean that in a different way.
Yeah, right. Mentally, physically, spiritually. Yeah.
Yes. And hungry to learn. And that was it, Marnie. You came. You're like, I want to learn. I want to understand this. And nothing lights up a coach more, right, than when you've got a client that says those words to you, right, John? Like, they want to learn. They want to understand this. Look out, girl. Like, we're spending a lot of time together. You're going to hear so much, because that's
when
our
you
passion.
Say that to one of us who geeks out over this, right? I'm like, okay, hold on tight, because I got my whiteboard, my magic marker, and we're going to go.
And here we go. So it was absolutely exciting to be able to work with Marnie on this journey. So what was really cool.
And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. I should have asked you guys this before, but I have this challenge with people in my life and people in my practice as to, do I ever have a conversation with them or not? And I'm not that guy. Like, I can't approach people and say, you really should, you really should do right? But you just inside, you're just like, oh, I wish she would give me a call someday, because man, I know she would crush it. Right.
Yes.
I don't know if you had any of those feelings about Marnie.
I hadn't. I hadn't thought about that so much for Marnie, but certainly you're right. There are people you think, oh, I just wish they would be brave enough to ask me something. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And you light up when they do.
Oh, do you ever? Right. I have to realize I got to be careful. I can just overwhelm, right? Because when somebody asks you that question, you're like, oh,
Right.
okay, how much can I share right now? Have you got 2 hours?
I've chased people away before.
Yeah, I never want to do that. But the passion inside for understanding what this protocol can do for people, right? This is not a diet. And if I might be jumping ahead with some things, but you will never hear Marnie or I call it that. I don't want it called that in our clinic. This is absolutely a transformational metabolic protocol that is going to change your metabolism from the inside out. And it's going to change how your body does food from the inside out. And that transformation is incredible. And that's what we want to talk about. And the weight loss becomes this lovely side benefit.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Music to my ears. So Marnie, you're getting started. Take us through some of your phase 1 stuff. What was it like? What was it like doing phase 1?
I laugh because I go in every week and Jen say, "How was your week, Marnie?" I say, "Great." What was going on? Nothing. Like actually, we were flipping a house at the time, right, Jen?
Yes, you were.
We were busy, so and it was a full gut job, like down to the studs. It was an early 1917 house. Like it was a horrible home. Anyways, we were gutting this house, so I was busy. Like I wasn't sitting at home cooking. Like Jen's, what are you prepping? I'm like, it's going to be pretty basic, Jen, but. I every morning I got up and I had my shake. I went to work with my salad and my vanilla crispy square, and I came home and cooked dinner or whatnot. But it was when you're ready, and I tell all of my clients, I tell everyone, you have to be 100% there. This is a mental thing too. If you are not committed, you're not going to succeed. So there was just no looking back. It was just, I was doing this and that was it. So people would watch and they say, "Oh, you can't have that." Or I had my husband's birthday. We had a birthday party for my husband. My parents came up. We had all these people were here and this big, beautiful chocolate cake. And I love chocolate, big, beautiful chocolate cakes there. And people are watching me.
Yep.
Because by then I had probably lost about 10 or 15 pounds. So they knew something was going on and I didn't talk about it much. Mm-hmm. So they said, "Oh, you're not having cake?" And it's, "Oh, well, I'm on this new program and I'm really trying to get my weight and my health under control because I just haven't been feeling good about myself." Mm-hmm. And so they're watching, "Oh, you can't have that." And so finally I said, "You know what? We're changing this dialogue." And I tell all our clients, change the dialogue. Sure, you can have it. You're also going to set yourself back a week. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm spending good money on this program. Mm-hmm. And if I go and have that piece of cake, that slice of cake better be worth $100.
Right? quite right.
No slice of cake is worth $100.
Yeah.
Plus, I was feeling good. And I wasn't craving it. When your body's getting what it needs nutritionally, you don't have cravings. Wow. And no one gets that. No one gets that until they do the program.
Until they do it. Yep.
And you just want everyone to understand. So I tell all our clients, you need to change the dialogue. When people say that to you, you say, "You know what? No, I can. I'm choosing not to. And I will have it." Right? You're choosing not to. And you can have that, but why not wait till you get to your goal? This is the other thing I say. Get to your goal, because if you eat that piece of cake, if I ate that piece of cake that night, I would have felt guilty about it. Mm-hmm. I want to have a slice of cake. I want to be able to enjoy food and enjoy it without guilt.
Without guilt. Love it.
And I want to be at a place where I'm happy with myself.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me. And Jen kept saying, "Did you have any challenges? Do you have any challenges coming up?" Like, there are no challenges, Jen. I'm doing this.
It didn't matter.
And that was it.
Also, can I just segue into, it didn't matter even when you got to the place where you said, "So Jen, I'm going down to visit my family and I'm going to be gone for 6 weeks. I need to have everything with me."
It's a great story, right? And as a coach, you're like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. If it had been anyone else, but Marnie, we were like, "Okay, we got this." And you and I, John, talked about this later. We reflected, for the last 2 years, we've been working with our clients virtually. right?
Yes.
Clinics
Oh my
across North
gosh.
America, we all
Yep.
had to learn to pivot, right? And to figure out how to
Yep.
do this and support our clients. Well, it was my little aha moment, Marnie, that you were my first virtual client.
I didn't think about that either until John
Right.
said, I
You got
know.
the scale, you took the scale, you took all of your product, you got all of your micronutrients, everything that you needed for success. I think you even took two you did of those phase 1 journals to write in,
Right.
because you would then take pictures and send me your journals.
We didn't
Yeah.
have the
And
we didn't have the
FaceTime.
digital. Yeah. We
And
didn't
we
have
would
the app.
FaceTime. We didn't have the app then. And we would
Wow.
FaceTime every week to check in and ask how things are going and see. And it was never, nothing was a stumbling block because the decision had been made, right? You decided, I am
Yeah.
doing this and nothing is standing in my way. And that's all it takes. That's all
Yeah.
it takes. So,
And I was in Connecticut for 6 weeks, and I'm surrounded by family and friends, right? And
Yep.
you get up and you have breakfast and you have delicious. My mother's a wonderful cook and baker and just makes everything. And so you've got beautiful pumpkin breads and banana breads, which are my son's favorites. But you've got all these wonderful things there, and I get up and I'd have my shake.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did, and it was fine. But people were watching,
Yep.
and what does that taste like? What does it look? Everyone's looking at everything, and what does it taste like? And even after dinner, the snacks would come out. The desserts would come out, and I go and I make my little mug cake.
Yeah.
But I had everyone try everything because I wanted them to know that yes, I'm doing this program, and yes, it tastes good.
Right. I'm not suffering because it doesn't taste like cardboard.
No.
Right.
No.
yeah.
And I'm feeding myself properly, right? I mean, protein, I'm filling myself up. You're having mindless calories that aren't going to fill you up.
Empty calories, right?
Right. So no drinks, no cocktails, no. And growing up on the coast of New England, seafood's a big thing. And my grandfather, every summer we come down, we're ordering lobsters. We're doing lobsters. I've never had lobsters without butter. How do you eat lobster without butter? And that was probably my struggle. I'm like, okay, this is going to be my only challenge with this program. Sure enough, guess what? Lobster tastes amazing without butter.
Good for you.
You don't need it. I don't need it. I go up for fajitas now. I still get them in lettuce wraps because it doesn't feel heavy in my body. If I have regular wraps now, they feel heavy. I don't feel good.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I've carried a lot of these phase 1 tips and tricks into my regular everyday life.
Absolutely.
We cook out of Geneva's and Dee's cookbooks every single night almost.
Yeah.
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 So
Because they're amazing.
There's no reason not to, because they're amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
But even in saying that, and I don't think we discussed this, Jenn said to me when I walked into her office, she said, "What's your goal, Marnie?" And I said, I don't know. And she said, "Well, do you have a number in mind? Because this isn't always about numbers, but do you have a number in mind?" And I said, I don't. I said, Weight Watchers always said this was my healthy range, so I guess that's it. I said, but really, Jenn, I'd like to fit into a size 8. I'd like to go shopping and be able to shop in a certain section. I don't want to shop in plus sizes. I want to feel, and she's, "Is there a reason you choose that number?" I said, "I don't know. It's just in my head." Well, sure enough, in Connecticut, we go shopping and I keep trying on clothes and I keep sending Jenn pictures of myself in clothes. I'm like, "Jenn, this is a small. Can you believe it?" But it was really something else. And, my healthy weight range that I had even thought, yeah, that's July.
I think we just talked about that July dress, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't even buy that dress, but boy, did I feel good in it. Yep.
Oh, you
I bought a different version of it, but I kept sending pictures of myself to people because I was so proud of how far I'd come. And it wasn't just about size, right? It wasn't just about how you look. I felt incredible. My energy level was back. I felt good. I do feel good, right? And that's what it's about. It's not just about that physical appearance. It's about how you feel on the inside. And
but we can't discount again.
No.
How our physical appearance made us feel so sad, and right? But you cannot discount that when you actually look at something and you try something on, and you look at yourself in the mirror, and it's one of the first times you say, "Whoa, wait a second, I kind of like that. It actually looks good on me," right? I mean, for
And
me, I just stopped buying new clothes. I was like, you know what? Well, what's the point in spending money on clothes for what's happening here, right? So I just really didn't care. But the first time you care about buying clothes and you think about, wow, you know what? Maybe it is worth getting that. That's
well,
something special.
I came back from Connecticut 6 weeks later, lower than I had even thought that I had intended to get. And I went to my closet, and you know how you have those clothes in the closet,
Yep.
the Sunday clothes?
Yep.
I tried on the Sunday clothes, and I had this one dress. I still kept it, even though it doesn't fit. It's too big, but it was my Sunday dress that I'm going to
Yeah.
fit in that dress. And I came home and I put it on, and it was too big.
And someday had come and gone.
Have never worn that dress, but it's a beautiful dress, so I still keep it. But it's
So
still,
you know,
yeah,
it just meant a whole new wardrobe, is what that meant.
it really did. And so that should lead you, John, to the next one of your other slides, leading to a whole new wardrobe
Mm-hmm.
and a deal that I had with my parents.
There we go. I have it queued up.
So the first picture, actually, of me in the white sweater, that's the same one that's on the ad campaign, except they changed it to purple.
Oh no!
Fun
If you
inside
turn
fact.
around and look,
Oh my God! It's totally purple.
it is.
It's up there. Can you see it? It's
Isn't that
purple.
funny? Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was oh gosh, that was the year before I did Ideal Protein, and then the selfie was the night before we went and shot that commercial where my Flying Canadian picture is.
Yeah.
However, she believed she could, and so she did. Picture has there's actually $200 underneath that mug. And my parents were going back to when I was like 18, 19 years old, and I had struggled with my weight, and I wasn't a huge sport. I'm not overly coordinated. Anyhow, I just
But you can fly.
That takes some skill.
someday I will. Someday I'll go pull a Lynn Roos and do my flying. But yeah, it's so my parents had this deal with me. My mom said to me, I know I should go with Lynn, right?
Oh, we should all
Skydiving? I know.
All right.
Lynn, if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, we'll make a plan.
She's gone. She's gone way more than once.
Wow.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. I fly we're talking about I fly, the indoor, what do you call it? Parachute situation. It is so much fun. And she has definitely done that more than once.
Yeah. Yeah. So my parents made this deal with me that if I could get to a healthy weight range and maintain it. So basically, when you're with Weight Watchers, my mother did Weight Watchers and was very successful with it. You hit your goal weight and then you maintain it for 6 weeks. So the rule was, if I could get to my goals and maintain it for 6 weeks, my mom said she'd give me $100. So we're going back to like 18, 19 years old. And my dad says, well, I'll match it.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So I started this program with Jenn, and I went around the corner. One of my girlfriends makes bracelets, and I bought myself a bracelet that says she believed she could, so she did. We can get to that in a second. But my mom bought me this. My mom knew that I had this bracelet, so she bought me that mug when I went down to Connecticut for 6 weeks. And so that was my coffee mug every morning. And then I hit my goal, and I came down the stairs and I said, I hit my goal. Like, I weighed in with Jenn and I said, I hit my goal. And my parents turned around and they walked away, and they came back and they threw $200 down on the table for me.
My God.
And I said, but I haven't maintained it. And they said, no, the path you're on, we know that you're never going back.
Oh my God. That's so cool. I got goosebumps there.
So I took that picture and I posted it on Facebook saying, slow. And because it's hard to talk about your weight loss journey, and it's hard to ask for help. It's hard to let people know that you're doing it was for me. And I think there's becoming less of a stigma. And like Jenn says, not everyone can change their tire on their car. So you ask for help.
Exactly. Yes.
We can't always do everything on our own, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. And that's what I did. I asked for help. So I started posting about my journey. And that was actually, I think, my first post. And I talked about the people that believed in me. And I talked about my coach at the gym. I talked about Jenn. And I talked about my family and my friends who were so supportive through the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
And I think it's safe to say that that spilled into what we like to call the Marnie effect.
Right?
Marnie, I have
Right?
lost count, and I need to go back and really think about this and tally it. But I'm sure we're over 40 people that are all connected because you were open and authentic and brave in sharing your journey.
Yeah.
Right, not for anything more than to just inspire everybody else that might see it and to realize that they can do it too. Right. And so the bravery of doing that has brought health and wellness and vitality to so many people. And I just love that about you.
And that's only
it's
40
pretty
people in
special.
your clinic, right? I mean, you
Yes.
don't even know like
Oh,
the spillover effect around the world. I mean,
absolutely.
people in Canada and US, I'm sure that she's had conversations and inspired people that she knows all over.
Yeah.
It's the being open with people about it, right? It's hard. It's hard for people, and I know how good I felt, and I know how long I had struggled, and I had watched people struggle. Like I had been told, "Oh, Marnie, I hope this works for you." It's, sometimes, you're a yo-yo like me,
Wow.
and
Right.
that was a hard one. Or being, someone describing you as, and I told you, John, I described, oh, that girl with the pretty face,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard not being you. And people don't want to describe someone based on their weight. So what do you say? Oh, the heavy set, that girl, Marnie,
Right.
she's kind of heavy set, with the brown hair, or like, it's hard. And
She's
I
got the
knew
small head.
the little head, exactly. I know. Thank goodness it fits my body now. It's true.
Hey, so I want to bring this graphic up too before we get too far away from it. So there's a great picture of the bracelet that you have.
Yeah. So my bracelet.
But then you decided that you probably need a little bit more permanency to this concept and effect. Tell us about your tattoo.
Yeah. So the bracelet, it started with the bracelet, moved to the mug. And then on my 1-year anniversary of maintaining my losses, I went and had Believe tattooed on my foot. And you really have to believe in yourself. I mean, we talked about, you get to a point when you're overweight and you're not feeling good about yourself and you don't know how to deal with this. So do you just dress for your weight? Like, do you just dress for your size? And there's a lot of body positivity out there, but I was not positive about my body. I wasn't comfortable in my skin. So what I really needed to do was to believe in myself. And having started at the gym when I was at a real low in my life, I learned that I was stronger than I ever thought I was. Yep. I could lift weights. I was strong. It was fantastic. I felt good in that sense, but still wasn't happy with my external features anyhow. So it's really, you start believing that you can do that. And then I, reached out to Jenn and started this program. And it's like, you know what, you can do this, Marnie. And you just have to finally believe in yourself because, and I've said this many times, there's so many people out there that actually believe in you too. And you don't even know it.
Right.
You have so many supporters and cheerleaders out there and you don't even realize it. So at the 1-year mark, my brother-in-law and I went over to the tattoo parlor and I had Believe tattooed on my foot. My husband actually designed that for me. So,
and again, we talked about this when you first showed me the picture. It is absolutely gorgeous. So the artwork that went into the script and the placement, come on, you must wear sandals and
I
those kinds
do.
of shoes a lot. Absolutely perfect placement on that.
And
No, just
it's on my left foot as well. I'm left-handed. So every step I take is, I always start with my left foot.
yeah,
So it's like, you know what? Always step forward, believing in yourself is what you
yeah.
have to do.
You know,
Yeah.
to continue with the story of my flying Canadian, you arrived today. So
Did
that was
you?
one more reason why I didn't say anything about ever was it going to actually work or not, right? And Lynn was in. I brought you into Lynn's room when I was opening up the box. I'll send you the picture later because they literally write your name on the top of the box to tell which one's which. So it says Marnie on it. And I pulled it out. I put it all the way up, and I looked down. I said, "Oh my God, the tattoo is like it's perfectly down there. They got you head to toe, and the tattoo is a part of the picture too. It's so amazing."
I think I know what someone's getting for Christmas.
Which one of her kids?
Maybe I'll get Jen one too.
I'm going to say maybe Jen needs a tattoo. So Jen, I want to segue into our conversation. This is what's so cool about meeting with both of you individually first and then meeting with you together, because you and I talked about this as well from the coach's perspective, right? Please, you say it because I don't want to steal your line or anything. When we talked about that, how did that conversation go?
About the believe, that
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Well,
You,
Marnie
it's
she's all,
no about everybody, every client that comes in, right?
oh goodness.
Why
We
can't you believe in yourself the way I believe in you?
And that's exactly it. We want this so badly for our clients. And sometimes I think people struggle. They feel that they've tried so many things, right? They've
Yep.
done program after program, diet, and they come to this with that background. And I think as coaches, we have to remember that they're coming to us with a whole host of feelings and failures that they may feel, right? And
Yep.
thinking, well, this is just one more thing. This is just one other
Yeah.
thing I'm going to try. How many clients have you talked to that, well, I'm going to give this a try?
Yeah.
The try doesn't work. You have to be all in. But we as coaches can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself.
Boom.
Right. And there are times where I think, Marnie, you and I, and John, I'm sure you're the same. There are times we realize there's some people that we're working with that they just don't believe in themselves enough.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so we're working with them. They're struggling. They may find this difficult at times, but it's because they really haven't connected deep enough. They haven't gone to that deep place to figure out what's inspiring them. It is not the number. We do not care about this. I've said this to clients for years. I wish we didn't even have to use a scale.
Yeah. Right.
Because we have such issues in our own heads about that number. That number doesn't define you. It doesn't define you before you begin your journey. It doesn't define you even during your journey. It doesn't define you after. You are not that number. But what it does is it is a reflection of what you've accomplished through that time and the lessons you've learned about yourself, about what you're capable of, about what food and nutrition, what you've learned, right, through that whole time, and the understanding that, food no longer has to control me. It doesn't win. I will use it as fuel. And listen, Marnie and I are both foodies. We're self-declared foodies. Mm-hmm. While you're on phase one, food does not have to be just munching away on 2 cups of cucumber at lunch every day. People will laugh because, well, they do it all the time, and nothing wrong with cucumber. But what I'll ask people is, are you prepared to eat 2 cups of cucumber every day until you're in your 90s? Is that when you are wrapping up phase one? Will you continue to do that? Or can we inspire you to get back into your kitchen, and change the stories you have about yourself? That's what we're doing when we're coaching with people, is we're helping them rewrite those negative stories that they've told to themselves about themselves for years, decades sometimes. How many people do we talk to that say, I'm not a good cook? or I
Right.
don't like to cook, or I
Yep.
can't cook. And John, I do this with them all the
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Hold on. I said, that was you before, perhaps, but you are here to do something new. You are here to learn new things. We don't
And we
tell
send
toddlers.
videos. Yeah, we
Yes.
send videos on how to roast vegetables, literally putting it in our oven.
I
Yeah,
love it.
This
absolutely.
this is how you brown ground beef.
I love
But
it.
Absolutely.
there are
Right.
people out there that really struggle.
But
So
they
we
need to
just
believe.
Mhm.
and they end up believing, eh, Jen? And they cook the
Absolutely.
recipes and they enjoy them. They get the cookbooks.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be rocket science, and none of us have to be fabulous chefs, right? But we all deserve to eat food that not only will nourish our body incredibly well and from a metabolic health perspective, keep us healthy long term, but those foods need to taste good, which is why I pick on the 2 cups of cucumber at lunch people, right? I pick on them with a gentle heart, right? But to say, are you really truly enjoying that? You deserve to enjoy it, right? You deserve to enjoy it. And we all have days where we're eating on the fly, especially when it's on phase 1, and we need to just get the fuel in, right?
Yep.
Fuel
Yep.
ourselves properly. It won't always be the most delicious thing, but we have to work on that because we have to think long term. What are people going to be eating long term? And if 2 cups of cucumber when you're 90 aren't going to cut it, well, then let's expand your palate. Let's work on that. Let's work on that now. But getting them to believe that they're capable of it. So we shut down all those negative things on our calls when we're talking to people. You can become the word is yet. I'm not a good chef yet. And helping them to learn that.
Love that. I love that. I could listen to you ladies all day long. And we might. But I want to segue to, Jen, you touched on one of the next topics, right? I want you to keep on going. You're on a roll. Keep on going. It's not about the weight you lose. You started with that. It's about maybe.
It's what you gain. And so for the last, 2-3 months, Marnie and I have been on a 12-week challenge, and we'll come back to that. We'll revisit that.
Yeah. Okay.
But Marnie and I have been on a little 12-week challenge ourselves to do a little reset and to re-engage with the protocol and really learn about, we know phase 1 like the back of our hand, but phase 2 as well, and what's new about all of that. And you got me off. I'm already off my tangent, John. You're gonna have to call me
but
back.
and we're gonna talk. Man, we got so much. See, this is what happens when you have so much good stuff to talk about. But again, just talking about it's what you gain. You get so frustrated with people worried about the scale and the number and being so number focused. And let's focus on something else.
So that's what's really been on my heart lately, and in most of my coaching calls with clients is I've asked them, guys, I want you to pull up a note on your phone. I want you to get a pad of paper, whatever it is, and I want you to begin to create a list called "What Have I Gained?" Because I would love to see the conversation change in this entire space with regards to weight loss. We get, and clients get, not we as coaches, but clients get so hung up on what that number is on the scale. And the week-to-week progress or lack thereof, some weeks, depending on all sorts of factors, can get so in people's heads. And it takes their eyes off of what their true goal is in all of this to begin with. And we are not going after a number on a scale. If that's what you're here to do, you need to change the story, and you need to start realizing I am going after a whole list of things that I want for my life. I want better energy. I want no problems with my sleep. I want inflammation gone. I want to gain better health. Well, let's get more specific about that. What exactly do you want? Why do you want it? Those are the things that I want people focused on, because when you start to list these things out, it won't matter what that number has to say on the scale. I'm always telling people the actual number doesn't matter. It is about body fat percentage. And really, it would be super cool if we could, send people for MRIs and we could have a better understanding of what their visceral fat looks like. Because if anything, that's the number to talk about if we could talk numbers. But It isn't about that. It's about what you gain, because this protocol and learning about your body and understanding, gaining an understanding of how carbohydrates metabolize in our body, how they affect our blood glucose levels, what that does in terms of insulin surges and responses, what insulin and that insulin glucagon ratio in our body, what that does. When you learn, when you gain an understanding of that,
Mm-hmm.
and you gain the vibrancy that maybe hasn't been around for a long time, and you
Right.
gain the ability to run to the top of a flight of stairs and not be out of breath, or you
Yep.
gain the ability to, climb a mountain or go water skiing again when you haven't done that in a decade. Like, this is what you're gaining your life back. And that's
Yes.
that whole, you're gaining life possible.
Yes.
Can I just
Yes.
say how much I love that you have called your podcast Life Possible. And
Thank you.
John, you and I spoke briefly about this, and I told you I was a latecomer to even knowing. Well, I knew about your
Mm-hmm.
podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but it as a busy clinic owner, there's always things to do. I was going to get to it eventually, but
Right.
it caught my eye because my own personal sort of tagline has always been that I want #more life in my life. And that is what I want for every one of my clients, right? Is more
Yes.
life in my life.
Brilliant.
And
It's so brilliant.
no one can bring that to you. That's not anybody else's job to do that. It's your
Nope.
job to bring more life to your life. And this protocol absolutely can do that for people, because you believe again in what you're capable of, right, Marnie?
Right.
You gain vibrancy and life and more life.
Wow. Did you catch all that, Marnie?
I did.
And you got that firsthand, right?
I
can't
know.
even imagine
How
what it
lucky
is.
am I?
I know, to coach with her firsthand and get all that. And I'll share too right now, the thing that has broken my heart over the past couple of weeks in talking with you ladies is the idea that you are not in a physical office together because of the way you've had to go virtual for the past 2 years. When Lynn and I and Lori and I and Layla and I are here in the office together and we're doing a dual shift, the energy around here is crazy. And we feed off each other. We get the clients going, and it's such a great energy. And I can't wait someday that is again my wish for you that will return. But man, Jen was just plowing through all of our talking points. This is great. I almost feel like I'm with Ed Reardon.
She's very organized.
Oh, nobody can touch Ed.
Correct. Ed is untouchable, and we will hopefully get to meet him next weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Let's go with more life in my life, right? Talk to me about the concept of, how many people are really not even living? How many people are merely existing from day to day? Because I know, again, when I look at that picture of me that I put up in the beginning of the show, I was literally just existing. I wasn't living life.
Oh, John, my heart, the last couple of years, more than anything, this pandemic sadly caused, I think, the vast majority of people to hunker down and to do what they could to exist, right? Just to get by, just to figure out, job situations were changing for everyone. And people, sadly, I think a lot of them turned in. We did what we could early in the pandemic, you and I, Marnie, to try to inspire people to, this is the perfect opportunity to take back your house. But a lot of people got caught in just existing and missing out on living life possible, living with more life in their lives. And I think that can happen to all of us. John, you spoke so eloquently about that at the beginning, that you got to this place and you thought, what else is there? This is just the way I am. This weight is on me.
Gave up.
I've given up. And it breaks my heart because it is possible. It doesn't matter what age. I've coached clients that are in their 70s and 80s.
Oh, 100%.
Right? And to see them and the joy and the vibrancy, and they don't care about the scale. That's the beautiful thing. Most people, as they get further in life, they're not caring about the actual scale. They've learned to let that go. But what they want is to feel better.
Right.
They want more energy. And so I want that for people. They're going out and now they're living with that vibrancy and doing things that they couldn't do for the last 20 years and realizing with 50 pounds or whatever it is gone, they're able to live better in their skin. That's what this is all about.
We actually have a married couple on their second marriage, and they are going through exactly that. And they're the cutest things when they come in, and the changes that have been made and the light bulbs that are going off. They are now, they're like Marnie. They're going on a trip, but darn it anyhow, if they don't have everything laid out and they're sticking with it and they just want to continue this and see it through, it's super cool.
Amazing.
One thing that we actually kind of skipped over and we've been talking about without really talking about it is the fact that, Marnie, you finished your journey and you've inspired all these people and what have you, but how did you convince Jenn, as if it were probably going to take any convincing, that you needed to coach with her?
Actually, it was quite funny. It didn't even start as coaching. I love this program, and anyone will tell you if I feel strongly about something, I'm going to go after. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to sell your product. I'm going to promote your product. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to help you be a success. And I loved this program, and I was posting about it nonstop. And my anniversary always falls around when Jenn is away on vacation.
Always.
So I post that set of 3 pictures on my anniversary. Jenn is going to need to change her vacation because it's the same time every year. And I post that picture, and poor Jenn gets inundated with emails. What is this program? What is going on?
And she's away, right?
and it's funny because it's even after, it's going to be 5 years this year. Even after 5 years, people are still watching.
Yeah.
And watching to see.
Of course they are. Yep.
Watching to see if you fail, sadly.
Yep.
And watching to see if you succeed.
Yeah.
So there's people who've been watching for 5 years and will finally reach out to Jenn.
Wow.
But in saying that, I went in and I said to Jenn, I'm going to work for you. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, really, I'm going to work for you. Well, what do you want to do? I said, I don't care. If I have to stock shelves for you, I'm going to come and work for you. I want to do something with this company.
Yeah.
Like, start from the ground up. And so she says, well, I kind of need to get my Facebook going and maybe an Instagram account. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I'm always online. I can do that. Yeah. So it started out as that. And then I said, she said, if you're really serious about this, do you want to maybe coach? Like, I'm like, bring it on.
She's been a one-woman show this whole time, right? Like,
and I want to know everything. I want to know everything that Jenn's taught me. Like, she's taught me, but it's literally in these, 15-minute meetings. So that's hard. Like, I'm trying to retain it all, but I'm thinking, I want to learn it all. I want to know everything. And so she's like, okay, there's this whole course load for you to take if you want to be a coach. I'm like, bring it on.
Let's get you certified.
And boom, boom, boom. The question was barely out of my mouth, and she said yes.
Yep. So it wasn't, and I really didn't have to convince her, but it was great because she's like, Marnie, I've needed someone, and I know that I've needed someone, but I just haven't been able to find the right person.
Wow.
And I think everyone across North America will now know that I absolutely chose the right person.
But I was lucky enough to be that person. Mm-hmm. And we have like when we say that we don't work together, we work together, but we're never with each other.
It kills me.
I know.
Like, we're one office, like one room.
Yeah.
It kills me.
Well, we worked together when we had to pre-pack all of our curbside pickups, Jenn.
Yes, we sure did. That was lots of fun.
I bet that's the most fun pre-packing that you.
Oh my goodness!
In any clinic anywhere.
We did have a good time, but so that's when we work together. And we do our weekly. We talk all the time, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just that's how it was going to happen, and it did.
All right. We've got two topics to cover left, I think, since we're just off the rails and not
Well,
even following the outline anymore, trying to keep up with you ladies. I want to head to both of us, all of us, but both you, Marnie, and Jen have talked about the role of exercise in weight loss, some myths surrounding this and misconceptions that people have. I'm going to start off. Actually, I'd like to just introduce this graphic or this pair of graphics because I thought, again, you kept dropping these things on me as we're approaching the show, and you sent this to me. I think it was just yesterday. And again, I was just howling when I actually read the texts on this. Set me up, set us up on this post.
That is my trainer, Kim. She's, I can't speak highly enough about her.
That's her post. That's not her in the picture. That's her post, right?
Her post. No, that's me. That's me after after four and a half months, right? And finally like entering phase. Well, actually, I guess it was phase 4 back then, right?
Yes.
So phase 4 life and back at the gym. But for the longest time, I had been going to these classes, and that was actually one of my favorite ones, kettlebell class. But I've been going to these classes for years, and nothing was changing with my body. And I'm
going to say lots was changing, but it was on the inside.
It was on the inside.
You were adding muscle tissue. You were doing all sorts of awesome for your body. Yeah. But it just wasn't showing.
Yeah. So Kim would always say to us, like they had challenges at the gym, and she'd say, here's the thing, you can't out exercise a bad diet. You can't it's get fit in the gym, lose weight in the kitchen. You have to have your eating under control.
I'm going to interrupt. Marnie, I'm going to interrupt something. And I love that phrase and I use it a lot, but you also can't out exercise even a good, a nutritious diet.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily allow
diet.
you. Yeah, there's lots of healthy food.
But 5 apples a day.
Right. Yes.
5 apples a day.
And spend so much time thinking we're doing all the right things in the kitchen based on old conventional wisdom or follow the food guide, but not actually get the results, not get into that place where our bodies can finally start utilizing fat. Anyway, I just wanted to say that it's not just bad diets. So many people are walking around trying to eat healthy, but not getting the results.
So I walked into Jen's and I said, and I go to the gym and I can continue doing that. She's like, no, you can't. No, you can't, not on this program. And so I said, okay. And she explained everything to me and protecting my muscle and where I needed to be at. And I said, okay. So I called up my friend Kim and I said, Kim, I can't come to the gym for a few months. And this was this gym. I mean, we're not talking like a Good Life or a big outfit. This was her and her husband and her sister ran this gym, and it was all local people. And I mean, that's their income. So I felt like I was walking away from helping support my friend and her business that had helped build me up. Right. She taught, and I constantly say, she taught me to believe in myself. And I will praise her till the end of the day, her and Jenn, for helping me get through all of this. But she said, do what you need to do. Do what you need to do.
I love that.
And come back when you're ready. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. So I came back, and that was my first night back. And I thought, oh my gosh, I was so scared to go because these are tough workouts. I mean, you walk out and you feel hobbled the next day. And I hadn't worked out in 4.5 months. So I went to that gym and I was petrified. I went with 2 of my girlfriends because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to walk out properly. It was the best workout ever. When you've lost 50 pounds, it's a heck of a lot and lunges and burpees. It was incredible. And I felt, you can see I felt incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And again, I do want to backpedal just a smidge. It's not that you can't do any exercise, right? It's just that we don't want you doing this high intensity exercise, this high intensity effort. lifting heavy weights, and a lot of these things, all you're really doing is burning high intensity energy, right? Which is what? You're burning carbs, you're burning the quick burning fuel as opposed to burning fat. And this is another myth, a legend, a mystery, and why Jenn and I geek out over the science behind the protocol, right? And so that's the big deal. That's the message. We don't want to give people the wrong message there, but also in its place and time, right? I love the fact that your trainer, again, you said, small gym, it's her livelihood, et cetera, but she was coaching her people already. Look, if you need to get your nutrition in order, get your nutrition in order, because, stop complaining to me. You're not losing weight. You're not changing the way that you want to. Right. And I think we've been sold a bill of goods as far as from the fitness industry that, you need to work off those pounds and you need to exercise those off, because it's absolutely just not the case. Exercise gives us a gazillion benefits. And above the neck is the best benefit of all, right? Stress relief and all of that stuff. Even professional bodybuilders know that they have a build up phase and they have a shred down phase. And so I always like to put it in perspective and say to those people, hey, look, you've been building all that muscle underneath there for so long. Let's uncover it so we can see it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's great. That's a great way to share it.
And
let's protect that muscle.
Right. That's the thing. We want to protect your investment of time, energy, and effort, the sweat equity you've put into those muscles. So this program, more than anything, I love showing them their ending report and their body fat percentage change, and the fact that their muscle loss was just
minimal
at best, right? Yeah. This is the holy grail. And Dr. Tran, when he created the protocol, I always forget, but he did it for Olympic athletes first, right? And then he applied it to his general population to see all the crazy results that we get.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I absolutely love this. And again, it sounds like your trainer has a great personality, Marnie.
She does. So if I can just share a little more there, I so often, and again, because John, you and I both come from an exercise physiology background. Yeah. And I do recall early days when I was first with Ideal Protein, it just felt so strange to tell people, right? We don't want you going out and pursuing high intensity activity. Absolutely. Go do the yoga and go for walks and do Pilates and do some lightweight, some core work. And we still say these things to this day, but it felt a little odd, right? Or people thought it was very odd that I would say that to them, because my background had been in fitness originally. But when you get into the understanding that that will be catabolic, if you start to overdo it with your exercise intensity, it will actually break down your muscle tissue. We can't give you enough high quality, biologically available protein to preserve your muscle tissue. We can give you enough Ideal Protein servings a day to keep that if you're overdoing it. Yeah. It's really hard, right? We want to protect that muscle. And so that's where we're coming from. We want to be muscle sparing. We can't be anabolic and catabolic at the same time.
I love it when you say that. Yep.
Right. So, help people realize, what's your number one goal right now? Because we do have people who call and say, well, I'm not ready to do Ideal Protein. I am not going to give up. I'm training for a marathon. Well, this isn't your time then. If you're more committed to that, do that. Come see us in your off season. But if you're ready, if this is more important to you and you're wanting to get that body fat percentage to a better place, let's go. Let's do this. Put that on the side burner. That's going to be there waiting for you. And like what happened with Marnie, you're going to go and maybe you're going to post some of your fastest times ever because we've kept your muscle tissue. Yeah, you're maybe a little deconditioned, but you're going to be ready at a lighter weight with all your muscle tissue really still there and ready to go and attack whatever you've set out for yourself to do.
And there's a lot said about memory.
Shameless plug. I'm going to say, let's go back to episode 8, I believe, of Cindy Savage. who, again, she stopped the protocol because she needed to train for her first marathon ever. And she knew she needed to, well, she thought she needed to include higher doses of carbs, et cetera, for that. The story speaks for itself. So if there's anybody worried, concerned about running and those kinds of things, please go back to that episode. She slogged through the marathon. She gained weight in the process of training. She had every overuse injury known to man. We did it differently the second time. And I've got another client who is doing her first half marathon again this weekend. And when she walks in my office now, she says, "Doc, I don't know what you did to me." And that usually concerns me when people say that. But then she follows up with, "I could run forever now. I have never felt this good running before."
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Right. Yeah. And it's changing up metabolic pathways, right? Our phase one does that. It begins all of that. And it helps, when people get to their macro code, when they actually get to learn what that looks like, they can transition into a place where they are way more efficient at continuing to burn fat.
Yep.
Long term.
Yes, right? Absolutely. Marnie, do you have something to add there?
No, I actually, that was amazing, Cass, because I think she gained 17 pounds the first time.
Yeah, right. She did. She gained 17 pounds while training for a marathon. Yeah. Yep. Marnie, I'm sad we're losing your audio for some reason. I don't know what's going on. If Fluffy is sitting on a cord or something, or
no, hopefully not.
Let's just see if we can get you back a little bit because we're cruising here. And with that said, let's move into our last topic as well. You had made mention, Jenn, to the fact that you and Marnie had been doing recently a 12-week challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and how it might, how we might actually be able to help people with a new 12-week challenge.
Absolutely. Well, so Ideal Protein Corporate, for the first time in my 12 years being affiliated with Ideal Protein, announced that they wanted to bring out a 12-week coaches challenge to coach the coach. And I think I got back to my CEM within seconds of getting that email and said, I am in. And Marnie was probably just a minute or two later to say that she was in. What a wonderful experience, and really the whole just behind this. And I'm so excited that corporate did this. The timing of it was perfect because here we were, slogging it out through this pandemic and doing what we could, but who couldn't use a bit of a reset? Right? Myself included. And it was time. It was just time. And so the second week of January, we began to do a 12-week challenge where we would do 4 weeks of phase 1, 4 weeks of phase 2 to work through and learn our own personal macro code. And then we are just wrapping up 4 weeks in our phase 3. And it's been a wonderful time. Not only, did we both deal with maybe some Christmas weight, some COVID weight, some old habits that snuck back, right? Because that can happen, right? Yeah. That's life, right? We're not always going to live and be at an exact number all the time. There's going to be a little bit of flux up and down, but there's no shame in coming back for a reset. So we've been doing this for the last 12 weeks, and it's just been a fabulous experience. And if you're a coach and you're watching this and your CEMs reach out and give you the opportunity to do this, oh my goodness, jump on it. Do it. Yeah. It will reignite your passion that much more for Ideal Protein, help you feel fabulous again, right? Because we can all start to feel a little sluggish if we're not eating exactly like we know we ought to, and right. it just has lit the fire again. So
you also, I think some of that may or may not come from the coach who coached you. right? Who was that? Who'd you go through this program with?
So Amanda Gabriel
Yeah,
was my coach, and Marnie's as well, and we love her. She's fabulous in
yeah,
corporate. So shout out to her. And I know Cindy from out. She's also, I think, based out of Toronto, but she was another person who was helping coach some of us coaches across Canada. So I believe this was a Canadian initiative to start, and it's about to happen again very soon
yeah.
for a
We did
whole
do
new
it.
group.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. And I just got to meet Amanda a couple weeks ago at the Super Weekend for the first time. I missed her class because I was in a
Oh,
different class, but my coaches were there and they were like, "Oh my God, Dr. Barnes, that was the best class that we've ever been through." And so I'm hoping to catch that at a Super Weekend to come. And we're
fabulous.
all already in talks to bring her on the show.
Oh,
Fabulous.
love that. Love that. That's going to be a fabulous show. It will be so good. So yeah, so we're excited because I started to allude to the fact that even as coaches, we can kind of backslide every now and again from our own best
Sure.
practices because life, let's talk about it. Like stuff happens, right? Life can knock you sideways. Sadly, I had a concussion this past fall that took me back out of my usual feeling fabulous. And for several weeks, fell into I'm eating a few too many carbs here and there, some comfort
Yep.
foods, things that were
Mhm.
just easy. And I needed to reset because I'd had a little relapse. And so this brings up this, and I'm glad you put this up here, the stages of change as coaches, we were coaching people each week, but what does that really mean to be a coach? We are educators, but we're also facilitators for change in people's lives. And in doing that, I want people to understand, when they first come to us, they've been thinking like Marnie did for a while. I need to do something. Well, I don't even know that I need to do something. They start there in
Right.
that pre-contemplation phase, right? In the
Yeah.
stages of change. And then they start thinking, well, I might need to do something. And then preparation, they're investigating. They're looking, what am I going to do to solve this issue? I need to lose weight. I need to get better control of my blood glucose levels. I'm pre-diabetic. My cholesterol is out of control. What am I going to do about this?
Mhm.
So then they're in this preparation. Well, it's awesome. When they come there and then they're in the action phase, that's fun. That little blue circle, that is where we as coaches are
I say
working with
that's
people.
where Marnie came to you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she had made it through all that other stuff. She was absolutely in the action phase.
Yeah, absolutely. And the beauty of, that action phase is very much our phase one and our phase two. And then
Yep.
that purple, that maintenance or weight management phase, that's phase three. And I think too many people get to that place. A lot of them check out. Let's be real. A
Mhm.
lot of people get to the weight loss phase and they're so excited. They feel they've accomplished that goal, but we always try to tell them the goal isn't to lose the weight, it's to lose it and keep it off. You need
Right.
the tools to do
Yeah.
that with. And so, maintenance is an active thing. It's not passive, right? And
Right.
part of that
Yes.
requires stay connected to your coach. Stay connected to us.
Yeah.
That's the part. It gives you that tether. But nevertheless, life can happen and we can relapse. And I think it's really important for people to understand that is normal. It's a normal thing. It doesn't have to happen to everybody. You
Right.
can see that people ultimately can sometimes get to that place, and hopefully that they will get to the place where this just becomes how they do life. Their kitchen habits, we work with people. What are your kitchen habits looking like? When do you do your grocery shopping? When do you make your lists? When do you actually go and do that? Have you budgeted time in your schedule to meal prep? What does that look like in your life so that this can it's the habits that you're working on all through phase one. And if we can lay down those habits, that's what's going to make your life, right? We become our habits. But if
Yeah.
we haven't done a
Yes.
great job laying
Yes.
down our habits, sometimes relapse will happen. Don't be upset about that. It happens, but don't see it as personal failure. And I think too often people see a relapse in their weight because their habits haven't stayed.
Right.
They may
Yep.
relapse, they may gain some weight. It's not a personal failure. It's physiology, people. It's just physiology. You've
Yeah.
overdone it with the carbs, the insulin response is back. and you're
And we're designed
restoring
to
again.
store that. We're designed to store that extra
It's
energy when we don't need it.
And
Yep.
I think people need to hear that it's not a personal failure if you've regained some weight.
Yeah.
It's not a personal failure. And so to understand that you can come back and do it again. Guess what? This protocol works. If you've done this once before, you've been with us as whether our clinic, anywhere, you've done phase 1, you know it works. Go back to what works and realize it's part of this stages of change. You're working towards getting it solidified so that your food habits and behaviors and the way that you do food becomes just part of who you are. You don't have to think about it. It's like brushing your teeth. I prep my food here. I do this. These are the foods that I buy. This is what goes in my grocery cart. And when that's when you've more graduated. You've adopted this. This is now your lifestyle. But coming back, you can do that. And this upcoming 12-week challenge, we are excited. Marnie and I will be bringing this to our past clients, people that we've worked with over these last 12 years. Come back, learn your macro code. This is a game changer. Understanding how much protein, how much fat, and how much carbohydrate will your body be happy with and allow you to feel as energized and wonderful in weight management as you did while you were in phase 1, because that's possible.
Wow. Again, I absolutely love it. I love the fact too, Jen, if I'm going to harken back, that you told me when I asked you to do the show, this was out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Well,
Marnie and I are calling BS. Okay.
And in saying this program, it's 4 weeks of phase 1.
Yes.
4 weeks of the weight loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can you achieve in 4 weeks? If you want to take it further, we'll go further with you. But commit to 4 weeks.
Absolutely.
And you'll see an amazing change in just how you feel on the inside. Externally, you're going to have results too, but you are going to feel amazing. And we talked about this. We want everyone to feel as amazing as we do.
Yes.
Right? That's what it comes down to.
And again, when we do have people that come out of the woodwork and we haven't seen it in a while, what is the first thing out of their mouth? It's more, I just want to feel good again, Doc.
Yes.
You know, it's, I mean, literally they will say that because that's how, and I always talk about our annual January reset. Just put it on the calendar and understand in January, you need to dump, you need to detox all the bad stuff that's in there again, reset that metabolism to feel better and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get brownie points with my CEM Maria Ciaza with this segment of the show. So we are going to do a 12-week challenge. A lot of ideal protein clinics around the world are going to do the 12-week challenge coming up. We've put it in place in our clinic for a specific date. We're going to start the week of April 25th. The idea being, if you do 4 weeks of phase 1. And then 4 weeks of phase 2 in the newly updated system that you probably have not done before, and discover your macro code, we're going to be done that portion of the program by Memorial Day weekend. And so you can start your summer in phase 3 maintenance, and we can guide you through the first 4 weeks of summer and the foods that you want to enjoy and the things that you want to include. Where do they fit in? How do they fit in? And see how they affect your body. I think it's just a super opportunity for people who have not been through the new phase 2, phase 3 system. This is the time.
Absolutely. And as a little aside for our Canadian people, that will nicely coincide with Victoria Day weekend for us. And so our goal is to get started around the same time as you, John.
Usually signifies the beginning of summer. Is that?
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. Cool. Marnie, good to have you back. Are you back?
Great to be here.
And you know what? If you could just turn down your volume just a smidge, I think that's more probably what's interfering with the signal.
Got better?
No,
Perfect.
that's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Good.
Marnie, anything that we didn't cover that was on your heart that we have not talked about yet? Oh, I know one thing.
Oh, you have something?
I do,
Oh,
actually. You ladies, again, the dynamic duo, the dream team. I could come up with these things all day long, but nobody wants to hear me. Um,
oh yes.
tell us about your clinic and tell us about this really cool program that you did that inspires me. We're going to do something very similar. We got to figure it out.
I'm so glad to hear that you guys are going to try and do something similar. So,
Yeah.
uh, for a really long time, I had this idea in my head that I wanted to be doing something in our community to give back, and when the pandemic hit, I wanted to inspire our clients to take charge of your health, because I knew people were starting to sit at home, binge Netflix, eat, drink, and their health was starting to deteriorate. And so I wanted to launch a challenge out to our clients, and we called it Lose It for Good. And
Yeah.
we asked our clients to jump on board and to sign up. And for
Love
over
it.
6 weeks, we tracked every pound lost. And we did a donation of $1 for every single pound that our clients lost over those 6 weeks. And we also gave more money for every box that people
Wow.
were purchasing of their ideal protein foods. And we paired with a wonderful organization in our community called Feed the Need in Durham. And they are out to erase food insecurity in our area.
Yeah.
And we were so excited about this. People were wonderful. They came on board. They really focused. If they were, the whole idea was that they were going to do good for themselves, and they were going to be doing good for those that were in need.
Yeah.
And it was just such a wonderful thing. And we were able to donate $1,000 to the Feed the Need organization. And they
That's
were able to
awesome.
take every dollar, multiply it by 7 in terms of the impact that would have in terms of food that was going into
Yeah.
people's
Wow.
plates. So we are excited. We are going to be tying in another Lose It for Good challenge
Uh-huh.
as we launch our 12-week challenge.
I'm totally stealing the name too.
Please
100%.
do. I would love for everyone to steal that and just use it, right? We should all be doing something to lose it for good,
Yeah.
for ourselves, for our bodies, but also for our community. And we also paired that. Maybe Marnie, you want to talk about that, the challenges that we did each week and the prizes that we did.
Oh my. There were
Oh,
challenges
we did.
too?
We had our we had journals.
Yep.
If
Oh,
you
great.
journaled,
Yes.
because journaling is very difficult for people sometimes.
Yep.
And I don't know that we had the app. Well, we had the app anyways, doesn't matter. Journaling was one of our things. If you journaled and we saw your journal every single week and you journaled every day of the week, you would get put in for a prize draw. So we did water bottles. The water enhancers were new, right, Jen?
Yeah, they were.
Um,
Yep.
so we
That was
did
great.
water bottles, and water enhancers were huge, or picking your favorite food product. But we had all types of prize draws. But yeah, journaling was a
Yeah.
big one for us.
And that was the thing. I wanted to get people, again, it's habits. We are laying down
Yep.
habits. And if we can lay
Yep.
down the habits, there's a greater chance that people will be successful. And journaling is such an important part of it. And I thought, how on earth are we going to get people to journal? Well, let's incentivize them and we'll give them away some free things. So we'll be doing that again.
Yeah.
Great. So amazing with some great ideas. Thank you for sharing. So tell us about, how can people find you ladies if they are in Ontario, if they are in Oshawa? Did I say that right?
You did. You
Joshua.
said it right.
Hey,
You said
I'm
it like
Canadian,
Joshua.
eh? How's it going, eh? I love it.
So Ideal Health and Weight Loss, we are located in Oshawa, Ontario. You can find us, you can follow us at Ideal Health and Weight Loss on Instagram, or you can find us on Facebook at it's Ideal Protein Oshawa, and
Yep.
reach out to us, DM us,
Yep.
send us a message. They can also email idealhealth.weightloss@gmail.com.
Excellent. 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 Whew, I think we did it. I think
I
we've
think we
made it
did.
through. I think we covered just about everything that we wanted to say
And we
Under
kept it
2
under 2
hours.
hours.
in under 2 hours, right? Was anybody else watching the clock like me? Okay.
Oh.
You know what? Thank you so much. This has been, I believe, one of the, if not the best show that we've ever put together. So many nuggets in here. So many nuggets in here. I had a friend, a guest on the show, contact me this week. She is a dynamo in Ideal Protein Nation, and she brought me an idea because there are so many nuggets in these shows, right? We literally could have taken 5 minutes. We could have taken 2 minutes of anything Jenn said, and there were like 5 nuggets in there, right? And this person, and you'll see later because we're going to do this. This person is going to do that. She is going to pull out like 5 nuggets that we didn't even get to expound on, and we're going to do what we call the encore. So something that's going to happen probably pretty soon, because it is incredible. And I hope that everybody made it all the way to the end. I hope they take it in small bites, because each one of the bites is fantastic. Marnie, your story is nothing short of inspiring. You are nothing short of inspiring. I hope that we get to meet sometime. We're, bound to meet at a super weekend somewhere. I hope you're going to live at the end of the hall. And now, like for everybody, when they turn the corner to come into the back part of our office, boom, there you're going to be. It's going to make Lynn squeal.
Give her a hug for me.
I will.
I love that.
I will. She misses you. She loves you. And she was so excited to hear that you'll be on the show. So,
well, John, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been an absolute honor to speak and to be a part of this incredible conversation. We absolutely are huge fans of what you're doing. And we think everybody should be following your podcast, because there's such wonderful wisdom there.
Thank you.
Should we tell him, Jen, but John, what we are going to do is we've talked about doing a promotion through like a contest with our clients, and for each episode. So each week they have to listen to one of your episodes and then participate with something they've taken away from it. So when you talk about the nuggets, this is something Jen and I have been talking about, and doing a prize at the end of it for, each week having a prize for people who are participating, because there is so much to take away from every single person that you've had on. It's
absolutely. Right. And it'll make their journey better.
So much better.
100%.
It'll make their journey better. The more they learn, the more they're inspired, the more they believe that they can do it.
And see people who were doubting themselves and believe and can do this and have done it and are such successes. Yeah. And have changed their lives.
Every pound has a story, and every story deserves to be told.
Sure does.
Right? And everybody can connect with most of those stories. All right. Thank you, ladies. You made my day.
Take care.
We will talk later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be listening to this one hopefully over and over again too, right? I mean, that's kind of the deal. There were so many great things that both of these incredible women said that you can pass on to your clients and clinic owner. I've had all kinds of fun things. Actually, people have contacted me lately. There are some clinics, and not just me, who play the podcast in their waiting area if they've got a TV out there. And, that's something that is helping you as a clinic and educate your people. I think that Marnie and Jen's idea of having some kind of a competition or rewarding people who might be listening to it is an incredible idea. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. As always, I am going to try my best to get you another great show in about 2 weeks. I have a laundry list now of people, great ideas, and people who are going to be on the show lined up. So stay tuned. I definitely will have more shows coming. As always, like, subscribe, pass on. Hopefully everybody knows that when I post it on Facebook in a feed or in a group, all you got to do is click on it and it actually plays. I've had people say, well, how do I actually watch it, Doc? You press the button. Okay. I'm a little social media challenged, but press the button. And so until then, keep chasing your life possible.